Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. So John Cena's farewell tour has come and gone, and John Cena is officially retired from WWE as an in-ring competitor. We know he signed a 5-year deal as an ambassador, but we're not going to see John Cena compete in the ring with his jorts on ever again, or at least that's what John Cena says, and I tend to believe him because he seems to be a man of his word. And so John Cena's farewell tour has come and gone. So now let's talk about his very last match, the whole show in general, and maybe what's to come in the future with Royal Rumble and WrestleMania looming in April. So we had Saturday night's main event, which happened on December 13th. The show kicked off with Cody Rhodes and Obafemi, and I thought this match was awesome. Now, maybe it was a little short. I thought all of the matches were a little short, but that's just because you have a 2-hour show and you need the longest segment you possibly can for the ending of John Cena and Gunther, and they did go overtime, but that's why all the matches were kind of cut short and they were a little just fast-paced. But I thought Cody Rhodes did a fantastic job really emphasizing the strength and the power of Obafemi. He looked amazing. They had a beautiful match, really, really solid. Just look to see Obafemi make a huge impact on SmackDown in 2026. I think he's going to have a very dominant Royal Rumble performance, and then he's going to have a really, really good 2026, and then I potentially see him being a world champion in WWE. He's NXT champion right now, but like a WWE World Heavyweight Champion type character in 2027 or 2028. But a really good showing from Obafemi. Like, cheers to Cody Rhodes for really putting over his strength and his size. And then we saw Drew McIntyre enter the ring. He caused a disqualification. I predicted that happening on my show previously because we were going to see Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes battle for the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble. Hopefully, this is where Drew McIntyre finally beats Cody Rhodes, and then you see Drew McIntyre go on to WrestleMania with the strap where he faces Roman Reigns, and you see Randy Orton interfere in that undisputed WWE Championship match, where then you see Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton go feud. So that was the first match, and then you saw the women's match, Sol Ruca and Bayley. Bayley is incredible. She's just so selfless in the ring, and it's unbelievable. Sol Ruca is incredibly gifted as an athlete. She's a little rough around the edges in terms of her movements and her facial expressions and her execution and just her crispness. So she needs a little bit more work. I definitely wouldn't call her up to the main roster just yet. She needs a few more matches. She needs a few more matches with competitors who have that sort of pedigree like Bayley to really see what the flow in the ring is like with someone who's as good as Bayley. But yes, amazing competitor, unbelievably athletic, super cool little cutter finisher move that she has, but she needs a little bit more experience in NXT. She also needs a little bit more experience against people like the caliber of Bayley, so maybe have some matches with Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch or whatever the case may be so that she is ready for a main roster run, and she needs to work on her facial expressions a little bit. She does emote as well, especially when she's taking a move or doing a cool dive or something great happen, right? Those facial expressions are really important because they beam out through the TV and allow the audience to get really connected with what what's happening. So that's really important. So it's a pretty good match. Bayley's amazing, a little rough around the edges, but it is what it is. And then we moved on to the tag team match, which wasn't my favorite match. It was too fast, too quick, too much of a sprint. But Javon Evans and Leon Slater, fantastic, amazing competitors. A very rare mishap by AJ Styles when he couldn't execute the phenomenal forearm perfectly like he normally does, like 99% of the time. But we know that John Cena has stated on record that AJ Styles is the best to ever do it, and you're not going to get a lot of argument from me in terms of best in-ring competitor. AJ Styles is fucking phenomenal. But that match was too fast, too quick for me. I did enjoy a lot of the moves. Some of the spots were incredible. I think I want to see more of Javon Evans and Leon Slater potentially as a team. I love the team of Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. I call them AJ Lee. But not my favorite match, probably my least favorite match of the night just because it was so quick and I just wanted a little bit more, but still a very impressive showing from all four gentlemen, including the best to ever do it, according to John Cena, AJ Styles. And then we moved on. Then we had a weird segment with The Miz and R-Truth and Joe Henry, which I didn't think was necessary. I didn't think R-Truth and Joe Henry being out there was necessary. But The Miz is a living legend. The Miz is still one of the most underrated superstars of all time. And I get it. The Miz, Joe Hendry, and R-Truth are very entertaining. They have great characters. Maybe we're going to see more of Joe Hendry. I wouldn't mind a Joe Hendry, The Miz feud. The promo battles I think would be awesome. And I think that'd give Joe Hendry some good steam moving forward in 2026 and potentially 2027. But then we moved on to the actual main event, John Cena's final match as a WWE superstar. And it was very bittersweet. Now, I predicted on my show that John Cena was going to tap out. John Cena hasn't tapped out in 20 plus years. He is the man that never gives up. He is hustle, loyalty, respect. So what's the best way for him to go out and say, this is what I care. I care about the future of WWE, so I'm going to tap out. I'm going to give the rub to Gunther, and he's going to become a megastar and be the heel in WWE and be this legend killer that I know he can be, similar to what Randy Orton was when he was doing the legend killer vibe. Now, they're not going to call Gunther the legend killer. Obviously, that's Randy Orton, but that's the sort of mystique and sort of aura that he's going to have. And so John Cena did tap out. John Cena tapped out. And you could see right before he tapped out, he had a little smile on his face. He was like, tap, 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 Gunther, boom, Gunther wins. That was my prediction all along. Now, some people on the internet were fucking pissed. They were mad at Triple H. They were mad at everyone. They thought it was the wrong decision. They thought John Cena should have won. Now, an option I saw from Jonathan Coachman could have been that John Cena won. I don't think it would have hurt Gunther if John Cena had won. And you could have a bunch of his rivals from the past come in the ring, create shenanigans, bump the referee, do this, do that, then beat up Gunther, then this happens, then there's a stunner, then there's an attitude adjustment, then there's this, then John Cena beats Gunther because of the help of his old rivals. I thought that would have been cool. I thought that idea from Jonathan Coachman would have been cool, but that didn't happen. And so the next best option is that John Cena taps out and gives that rub and that push to Gunther, and then everything just got super emotional. You know, John Cena, they play the video for John Cena. He's hugging everyone. We see KO. We see Sami Zayn with his son. We see RVD. We see Mark Henry. And I can't not say this about Mark Henry. Again, we know Mark Henry has the worst professional wrestling takes in the history of professional wrestling reactions, but still one of John Cena's great opponents, and great friends and all that. And so that got really emotional and then bittersweet. And then John Cena puts his shoes in the ring and walks down the ramp one last time and looks around, soaks it all in, gives a salute, and there you have it. We're never going to see John Cena in the jorts again as a WWE superstar ever. But I thought Saturday night's main event was a really good show. I did think that it's really clear that WWE has a bright future in Javon Evans and Leon Slater and Sol Ruca and Obafemi and in Ricky Saints and in Joe Hendry and in Ethan Page and all these people coming up from NXT who can really carry the ball. As John Cena goes away, we know in 2026 AJ Styles is going away, potentially Brock Lesnar, potentially Chris Jericho is going to come back to retire, and you need a new crop of superstars who are going to take over. And I think WWE has a ton of them. And Gunther's going to be at that helm, and you're going to have Cody Rhodes, and you're going to have Braun Breaker, and you're going to have Seth Rollins return, and Kevin Owens is going to return. You have Sami Zayn, and you have Brunson Reed, and you have all these people. And then I think what absolutely should happen, if we're going to predict a little bit of future, is that Drew McIntyre definitely beats Cody Rhodes, and LA Knight definitely wins the Royal Rumble, and I would pull the trigger and have Braun Breaker beat CM Punk on January 5th or whatever the one-year anniversary show is. I think those are huge milestones for WWE as they move into a very important WrestleMania 42, but I'd love to know what you think in the comments down below. Then like this video and then subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.